Mitch McConnell has been the obstructor in chief, sort of the real hatchet man for Republicans, and he's been doing a brilliant job of just getting in the way of stuff. We've talked about, over the last couple of years, he prevented Merrick Garland from having Supreme Court confirmation hearings under Barack Obama, so Donald Trump got himself an extra Supreme Court pick thanks to Mitch McConnell. He has been preventing election security bills from being debated while he takes money from lobbyists for the two biggest voting machine companies in the United States, and he was on Fox News. And instead of addressing any of those obstructive acts, which he should address, and I would love to hear him pressed about, he said, oh, if Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. become states, that would be part of the socialist agenda of the democratically controlled House of Representatives. Statehood for D.C. and Puerto Rico would be in some way socialistic, according to Mitch McConnell. Take a listen to this.
For the first time in my memory, I agree with Nancy Pelosi. I am indeed the Grim Reaper when it comes to the socialist agenda that they've been ginning up over in the House with overwhelming Democratic support and sending it over to America, things that would turn us into a country we've never been. They're on the way to doing some additional things, in addition to the ones they've already done, the Green New Deal, Medicare for all. And by the way, you may have mentioned this on your show, but they plan to make the District of Columbia a state. That'd give them 2 new Democratic senators. Puerto Rico state would give them 2 more new Democratic senators. And as a former Supreme Court clerk yourself, you've surely noticed that they plan to expand the Supreme Court. So this is full bore socialism on the march in the House. And yeah, as long as I'm the majority leader of the Senate, none of that stuff is going anywhere.
None of that stuff, he says, is going anywhere. Now, understand the complete and total misdirection that is going on here. Mitch McConnell is sort of good at this, but of course, he's helped along by Fox News letting him do it. Mitch McConnell obstructed bills meant to release an unredacted version of the Mueller report, multiple bills, in fact. He wouldn't give him the time of day, just dead on arrival to the Senate. Mitch McConnell continues to obstruct every election security bill meant to protect the 2020 election and future elections from future interference. He's doing that now, and his campaign is getting money from lobbyists for the 2 biggest voting machine manufacturers in the United States. And yet he goes on Fox News and says, I control the discussion in the Senate, and no, none of this socialist stuff is going anywhere under my watch. What about election security that you keep obstructing? And then, of course, we have to at least briefly address that D.C. and Puerto Rico becoming states isn't socialist. Socialism, of course, defined as a range of economic and social systems characterized by social ownership of the means of production and workers' self-management, as well as the political theories and movements associated with them. And as you can see by looking at the definition of socialism, that territories and federal districts becoming states is not socialism. I'm not a socialist, but when the right starts calling things socialism, my ears perk up, because there's a very good chance that those are pretty damn good ideas if they are being assailed as socialism by uninformed Republicans. Steve King, you might remember, horrible, racist, xenophobic Republican congressman, once said that gay marriage is socialism. 2 men being able to get married is like the workers controlling the means of production. What? What are you talking about? Gay marriage is social ownership of the means of production? This is their move. If they want to oppose something, they call it socialist, even if it's not. And in fact, D.C. and Puerto Rico having a say in government matters that affect them is not socialism. It's representative democracy, which I thought was the system that we had. And it's really important to note that not all Republicans are even united on this D.C. statehood thing. There are Republicans that are supportive of D.C. statehood. There are probably more Republicans that are supportive of Puerto Rican statehood rather than D.C. statehood. But this is the postmodernism that they claim to oppose. They accuse us of having no fixed meanings for language and concepts and words. Everything is malleable. Nothing has any meaning. It can all be whatever we want it to be. And then they say, oh, statehood for territories and federal districts, that's socialism, which implies words have no meaning. Nothing means anything. Anything can be socialism if Republicans determine that it's bad. This guy must be removed. as important, I would say, as the removal of Donald Trump from the White House, when you think about just the next several decades and the impact on the justice system and the courts and so much else, we've got to remove Mitch McConnell. If it's not as important as removing Trump, it's very, very close.